Okay, this is Mouth Sweet. It's a scary game that I got off of RMN. This one's really gonna scare me. Okay. Don't know what Mouth Sweet means, but sure it's gonna be a good one. I love games too. We have that in common. Putting me at ease at the beginning of this game. I'm with fellow game lovers. Oh, I don't like the cruelty part. I actually legitimately can't handle that. So if I see anything like that, I'm just gonna bail. I'll probably run out of the room. Won't even turn the game off. I'll just be out of here. So sound, sounds pretty realistic so far. Yeah. These characters are a little bit too cute. Yeah, I'm not gonna bend to the corporate establishment, so Alice is fine. It's a pretty good name. Yeah, bureaucrats. I'm noticing a trend in a lot of these horror games is they have these cute characters, and I'm not sure what that. I mean, I guess it can work, but usually you want your horror game to be kind of grimy and stuff like that. Make the characters look a little bit unnerving, or make them as relatable as possible. Like, what's his name? Silent Hill Army Jacket guy. He's just a regular guy, right? Put yourself in his shoes. I mean, not me, because I'm like, uh, hashtag stop Bezos. Am I right? So far, the most horrifying thing about this game is that there's no run button. It's fine. It's good. I'm just gonna play along like as long as possible, and hopefully they don't terrorize me too much. It's a little weird that there's just screaming sounds and music out of nowhere. It's not really context appropriate. Usually that should come in at like the peak of some horrific moment, but that did not really seem like the time. But hey, scarier than most of the games that I have played. See, normally in a horror movie, you would ask, why doesn't the character just leave? But this is corporate America, so I believe that this character needs the job that badly. More horror games should use the thing where unexpected stuff happens when you're just exploring, especially if it's a ground that you're retreading and you think that nothing's gonna happen, but then something happens. This is actually pretty interesting. I was not expecting it to be that way, but I do hear footsteps, but oh, this is actually a little bit tense. That was cool because the sound really did equalize to both headphones when it was in front of me, so the system actually works as intended. It's pretty cool. There's probably a lot that you could do with this. Because every horror game has to have a teddy bear in it, for some reason. So, children's objects are scary. I can hear another monster. Yeah, that's a really good idea, but I think it needs to have, like, the enemy has to become visible if you mess it up, so it can, like, jump scare you. That would be cool. That screen is actually unexpectedly well drawn. The art is pretty good. A game that you have to completely rely on sound to stay alive is a pretty good idea, because it generates a lot of tension. Yeah, I have no idea how I meant to do this. It's just shooting invisible bad guys in the hallways, going about her work. Seems pretty accurate to the brief experience I've had in retail. They are going to have to mix this up a little bit if it's going to stay interesting. Like, they should kind of unexpectedly scare you with a visible monster. That would be pretty scary. Kind of unclear on exactly how far you can move without going into the gun mode, because, like, is there actually a physical monster in here that I can collide with? Or I feel like the monster thing should only be used very sparingly, so that you have to pay attention to sounds. Not in every single room, but kind of keep you on your toes if it wasn't always happening. So what happens if I try to go through a room without shooting any bad guys? Either you can physically collide with their character set, or if you try to leave the room without killing it, they get you. I'm not quite clear on how that works, but I do like the device in horror games where they have some kind of background music. You enter a new room and it just completely stops. It's a good tension generating device. Okay, so you don't have to kill every single monster. So presumably you would have to make kind of a calculated risk as to, whether you wanted to try to get through a fairly short room without killing the monster, just to conserve ammo, or if, you wanted to be more safe, get through a room that either has tighter spaces or it's longer and you have less chance of making it through. Potentially a pretty cool dynamic. Yeah, this game has a kind of interesting novelty to it so far, but it's not exactly horrifying. I mean, I guess that's kind of implicit in the monsters being invisible, that if you can't ever see them, they can't ever really spook you that hard. I think it would be creepier if none of them really acknowledged it directly, and they all just kind of acted like it was, oh, they're bugs? Okay. Not sure if it's deliberate, but that kind of sounds like a Pokemon noise. I feel like not enough games do, like, freaky screen flickering stuff, or, like, subliminal flashing of stuff. Like, just reminded of that because of these strange grids that are flashing. You can do some cool stuff with that. This just feels very farcical at this point. Like, I'm not... It's like, okay, it's an 80s joke. I'm not sure if it's like... trying to emphasize the corporate absurdity of demands on workers in poor environments, but it just comes across as a silly joke. That is kind of a problem. Like, I feel like I can walk through way too many rooms without having to deal with the monsters. That is good to know that there is some element of timing to it, because it felt like it didn't matter how long I took, but now I know they actually can get you. I think it would be really cool if like the footsteps started to audibly speed up. That would be good. So far this has been the only one that I'm actually interested in continuing playing, so I mean, good job on that. I think some of this stuff could be a little better implemented, but it's been kind of good so far. Like, interested in seeing what's happening, although the tone is a little bit off in certain places, but it's kind of a cool idea so far. An improvement to this would probably be that the things when they die should make more of a human sound, like something really freaky where it would be impossible to discern what it could be. The sound that it makes doesn't really suggest anything that scary, so I mean, if I'm just shooting actual bugs, then I mean, I've already kind of identified what it is I'm fighting, even though they're invisible, so it should have been far more ambiguous. Maybe if you think, oh, I'm shooting people or something, that would be scary. They could do some really cool switch-ups, like say you start one of the gun scenes and the sound of the footsteps is completely different from what you're familiar with. Or maybe one of the times you shoot and like something appears, or like something can jump out at you from inside the first-person view. There's tons of really cool stuff they could do. What if you shot and then like something completely unexpected appeared before you, and just be pretty scary. Just be pretty fucking spooky, I think. Though I think this they need to really ramp up the like environmental horror, because so far it's been pretty clean corporate hallways. They should probably add some stuff soon where it's like actually freaky to look at. This is a little bit foreboding. Maybe I should have taken the car and just bailed. Fuck that. I'm not doing that, dude. There's no way. If it actually wants me to do that, I'm like the kind of person I won't even shoot the birds in like Resident Evil, like Tomb Raider games. They want you to like skin a deer, and I'm just like, fuck that. I won't even hurt a 3D model of a deer. Gonna have to bail on this game if it's forcing me to adopt an anti-avian stance, so my apologies to the creator, but That's I'll torture a human baby, but comes to birds, that's where I draw the line. I feel like the footsteps should increase in volume when you're near them on the actual map. That way, there could be kind of a form of like hot and cold gameplay on the actual exploration. I feel like by now the monster gun invisible bad guy kind of gameplay really should have had a mix-up by now. Like, the invisible guy thing is fine for a little bit, but they really should have kind of thrown something into the mix. Kind of scared you with an unexpected element. Okay, there we go. I'm not sure how scary this is in like Game Boy graphics, but you know, at least it's trying. What's up? Floors and walls turning into like living material is kind of like, it's kind of expected at this point, like. That's pretty good. I guess I'm probably supposed to be pretending to be like scared by this instead of just like commentating on its effectiveness, but I can't lie to my audience. Oh shit. I wasn't even listening for the bad guys. Oh, I guess the crying sound meant that the bugs were actually in that room, so I shouldn't have been listening for the footsteps. I'm a big dummy. The NPC straight up told me, and I just ignored it. The footsteps still actually happen, even when this sound is going on, so they aren't. That doesn't denote their presence. I'm not really sure. The main problem with this is that the main enemy is not very threatening. I just feel like they're not that scary. Because they can very easily just be shot, and they make kind of like a defeated sound, like you're capturing a Pokemon, so there's a different sound. Oh, I guess I had to shoot those guys multiple times. I had no way of knowing that, but okay. Out of bullets now, so could be in trouble. I am interested in seeing where this leads, though. I want to see what's at the end of the spooky basement. I do actually find this kind of unspecified torment a little bit creepy, because I don't know, man, if it's just abstract like that. Shit. Guess like if you're generally an empathetic human being, kind of long-term exposure to that sound effect does slightly unnerve you. Okay. That's not what I answered, but okay. I'm not following the arrows. I'm not some corporate slave. Obviously, this is not the real exit. Well, she told me not to take her car, so... Guess I have no choice. Wait, is this the end? Was that the whole game? Because... there's gotta be some kind of fake out. It's the tax. It's pretty weird. Did I beat the game? Wait, is this real, or is this like getting really meta on me right now? Don't recognize anyone in there. Hey, maybe these are some like, maybe these are the last surviving 6 RPG Maker Knights of the Rounds. Maybe oh, he has a Patreon. May he be free from the corporate fist of oppression. That's all I can say. Do you need to have a better game over screen, like if I actually succeeded, than the failure state screen? Because now I feel like I've accomplished nothing. Thanks a lot, Mouse Sweet.